Good morning and happy February. Hopefully, you guys had a good day. Mine was not so great, but that's okay. We're going to get into it and I will tell you what happened. I got a good trade today on Ford, but I really screwed myself up on OXY. But that's okay. Nonetheless, I digress. Let's go. So, when I got up this morning, I did not like where the SPY was sitting, and that should have been my cue to not really take very many trades today. So let's just take a look at this. So if I zoom out on this, yeah, a little bit. So we've got R3 up here, we've got S3 down here, we're opening in here, and I just thought, we're right in the middle of this pivot range. I don't really like the pivots to play today. What I did like was this 451 level that I have on the from the weekly charts. And let's just pull that up really quick so you can see what I'm talking about. Let's do the daily. Okay, so I know I've got a lot of lines. Probably used to all these by now. I will draw this with a fat marker. That's too fat. Let's try this one. All right. So we've got this level here. This is about 451-ish, right? So came down and touched it, bounced off, came down and touched it, bounced off, tried to break through it, couldn't get through it. So I see this as like a really good area to play as far as pairing something alongside the SPY and seeing what the SPY is doing around there. And this morning, just go back to the 5-minute. We've got that level's right here. So that's the 451 area. It tried to push up to it this morning and it just rejected it and sold off. So, like I said, I don't really want to play anything like in here. I was interested only if it got up to like near this level. So the play this morning when it rejected that, I took it on Ford, and that ended up being really good because, again, I followed my plan, and that's the only area that I wanted to be in a trade when the SPY was at. So with Ford, I'll just bring up the daily. I know I've shown this quite a few times, so just very quickly, we have this area on the daily. So I'm playing the tops and the bottom of it. And this morning, let's bring this to the 5. So yeah, okay, so this morning, we've got the top of the range from the daily sitting right here, this yellow line. And this morning we're popping just above it and we're testing R3. And, I'm thinking, if the SPY rejects that range level, it's possible we'll get a short off of this. But if the SPY breaks out, we might be looking for, R4 to the top side, which is above where you can't see it right now, but it's up there. So that's basically what I played this morning. And if I take it to, I'll just kind of show you here. So when we opened, we sold off immediately on Ford, but I really wanted to see what the SPY would do. So we sold off immediately on Ford. The SPY was testing that level at the top of its range, and so when it wasn't showing that it was going to just immediately break through it, and it was just kind of testing it, I decided to wait for a pullback on Ford to the level of 2050 and then enter to the downside. So I did get a nice little move out of that. It was a super clean move. It wasn't a huge move, but it was clean. So that's always nice. No one likes to play this situation. So then I partialed at S3, and also the SPY the SPY had this range set like this in the pre-market, and when it sold off this morning, it got to the bottom of it, and it bounced. And so when it bounced, I took a partial here, and then, and I saw that this was also S3, and it was just, the SPY kind of started to trend up a little bit, and I was like, nah, I'm just gonna get out of this. I'm just gonna take my win. So that was a good, quick, clean trade on Ford, and then I got myself into a drunken sailor disaster on OXY. Okay, so here is what we're playing on OXY. I'm just gonna leave the pivots on, so bear with me here. But we've got this range up here on the weekly that broke off. Broke below, and now we're pushing back up against. So I'm playing this. I've been playing it for like a week now, and this morning, what I was looking for was looking at this. We've got the bottom of that range on the weekly chart is right here, and then we've got R3 right here as well, and we've got R4 right here. So what I'm thinking is, if the SPY is strong and we break this level, we could be in for a potential breakout play. But because the SPY was so choppy, it like really messed with my head. XLE was, very clean and very strong, and I should have just been paying attention to that because it just kept pushing up and pushing up. But what happened was, when we pushed up through this level, let me just take it to the 2-minute chart. So this is my first trade on it. So when we pushed to this level, we're already at basically almost to an ATR. I don't think we were at a full ATR yet, but we pushed to this level. We're up at R4, and it's starting to struggle a little bit at R4. And at the same time, XLE is pushing up against a level. So I'm thinking, the SPY couldn't break that level that I was interested in. It's been kind of chopping around this morning. It doesn't seem super strong. XLE is kind of pushing up against the level. We've got R4 here. I think we have the potential for an R4 rejection back down. And, all I wanted, is it too much to ask, was to take a partial at this level. And it got within pennies of it, and it just immediately shot back up. And I just totally missed my partial. I ended up taking, a full stop out on this, and that just messed with my head because I was so close to getting that partial on it, and it just threw me for a loop, and emotions took over. So I'll just kind of show you what happened after that. So after that, I tried to go get into it again. It got stopped out. This is not a trade that I should have ever taken. And then what I did up here was I started trading kind of how I actually used to trade, which is just off of L2 and tape. I wasn't really using levels in the past, and now I remember why, because you kind of need all of those things really for your trade to work. But what happened up here was it was pushing up into this 39.30 level, and I actually took a screen grab of the tape at that time. Let me see if I can pull it up for you really quick. Boop, 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 boop. Let's get that somewhere. I know it's here somewhere. Yeah, here we go. Okay, bear with me. Thank you. All right, so I'm just gonna bring this guy up here. Okay, so here's a screen grab from this morning, and we've got these orders going through at 39.30, and then they also stepped the asks. It's printing on the ask, but it's stepping down to 39.28. So that's when we were like right around this area, and I'm seeing that as like someone is selling here and people can't get out, and they want to get out. So the thing that this had going against it though was there were a lot more asks to the top side. There really wasn't anything to the bids on the downside, and it didn't have everything working for it. I think I was just still trying to short this thing after it screwed me up. So anyways, I got in and I got a partial out of it. Took a partial here, and then I got stopped out, and then it still was holding well here, and I thought, we've got some asks at 39.50, and if it can't clear that, and if it can't break through that, then I think there's a chance for at least a move to VWAP. So I entered here, unfortunately, in the middle of this intraday range after it sets up. Now I'm seeing that, and I added into it when it couldn't break 39.50. So when we got up to 39.50, large asks on the L2 started to step below 39.50, and then when it pushed, it just couldn't break. Like it would break a little bit, and then it would just come back down. So I added into it, and then I wanted to write it down to VWAP. But what I ended up doing was I got out of this. So, this ended up being a winning trade in the end, this last one. But so it's basically set this range, right? And I saw that happening. And after I was in this and it bounced off, and then it kind of bounced off here and it bounced off here, I remember the promise I made to myself last year, which was if you're down for the day and you're in a winning trade and you're not playing your best, but you're in a winning trade and you could get yourself back, like, don't push it. Just get out and like be close to break even and be thankful that like you didn't screw yourself up more than that. So I was going to hold this to VWAP, but I had this talk with myself and I was like, I promised myself that I would be better. And so I was just like, you know what? No, I'm going to take this off and I'm just going to get out of this trade. I shouldn't be here anyways. I hate the SPY and this is not my trade. So I got myself back to close to break even, and I was just like, I'm calling it. I'm done for the day. I ended up pretty lucky that happened, that I was able to get myself out of a little bit of a mess that I caused. But, again, like I'm bringing the SPY over here because I just take a look at this. Where is it? In the 1 minute? Yeah, here we go. Like this is ridiculous. This is trash. Like, very dangerous day to be trading in the markets, I think. It's not clean. It's just chopping around. You know, maybe later we could get a break of this range level. Cool. If we get a sell off down to S3, maybe we'll get a bounce and that could be good. But this area is not worth playing. It's not worth your money. It's not worth your risk. And after I got lucky on that Ford trade, when I had a feeling it was going to be a day like today, it just shouldn't have been an OXY. I shouldn't have played it. Or if I played it, but you know, hindsight 2020, looking back, I could have played it for a breakout. It gave me a second chance. And I missed it in the moment because emotions are very blinding. So it broke out, it came back and tested and continued to the top side. So you know what? It happens. And I'm lucky that I'm basically at break even and I live to trade another day. So anyways, don't trade when the SPY is trash. And that's the lesson for today. All right, guys. Hope you had a good day. I'll catch you tomorrow. Peace.